Take that too.
Bring you back. Okay? It's not
Whatever
It
you
is.
want.
You think it's fair?
Yes.
And you think it's fair?
Yeah, she can have whatever.
Hold on. Before we get into it, do you think it's fair?
I agree.
All right, welcome back to TDG. We're back with audio this time. Had a little snafu, but we fixed it pretty quick. So once again, if you guys are watching on the live feed, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you guys are catching us on the replay, hit the subscribe button. And same with the like button as well. It helps get the message out there. You guys didn't hear the whole intro last time, but it's pretty much the same every show. So before ado any further, we're just going to jump on into the show. We have one new guest to my left. We'll get there in a second. I am Sean, your host. I'm 41, still single. And as you guys know, I'm doing this for the side gig to give you guys the edutainment, which is a word King made up. Edutainment, which is
I got that from somebody. That's a mix of education and
mix that up.
and entertainment. There we go. There we go.
Education and entertainment. Got it. So to my left, we have
I'm Clayton, 49, and complicated.
all right, it's complicated. Clayton.
Complicated.
We might get into it tonight. We'll see.
And Renee again, 38 and single right now. That's how it's gonna be for a while.
I am King Smith, the actual King Smith on all platforms. 40 and in a relationship here for over 2.5 years.
Boo. Just kidding.
Wait, am I the odd man out in this group?
This time you are.
What?
Only one in a relationship here.
Okay.
We're all single Pringles. All right, so we got our introductions out the way. Like I said, I just met Clayton tonight about Thanksgiving, about an hour ago. And Clayton, how do you feel about us getting to know you a bit, or you just want to jump into the questions and see how we organically progress?
I guess we can go ahead and try that and see how that works.
All right, because he was filling us in a couple of interesting things about himself. I wanted to know more. Just like last week when we had Ikenna on, and Ikenna was a therapist, and she's in a polyamorous relationship. So if you guys didn't catch the live last week, make sure you guys check the live from last week. But it's a replay now.
Very,
It was
very
Very
edutational.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was very educational. So we love to have the doctors and the therapists and everyone else in the show to give their opinions and their life experiences. It's very edutational. So Clayton, you are 49, and right now you said your current status is complicated, but let's dig down a little bit more. You said you're actually married right now, but you're going through a divorce.
Legally married, separated for almost 4 years, going through a divorce. It's just taken a little longer than usual for most.
Okay. And is that due to like state law or your personal things going on?
A lot of personal things, with splitting up and kids, made things a little complicated. So we got a few different variables and what a lot of other people have. So
Gotcha.
right now we're kind of working out being good with the kids. So.
If you don't mind sharing this one, and you totally don't have to, what's it like dating while still in the process of a divorce? Because I think that it can be a sticky situation to say it's complicated to somebody, because I would imagine that they likely come back and be like, well, what's complicated about it? And then does that affect being able to spend time with somebody?
And also, let me throw a little curveball in there. Isn't it technically illegal to be dating while you're married, even though you're separated and you're on your way to getting divorced? But do you have to? I don't know what the rules are here in Maryland, but do you have to technically stay single or apart, rather, or you're allowed to date?
I don't know about the laws. I don't think it really matters. Like she was dating too, so it was kind of a mutual thing. Back to the question of whenever I meet anybody, I tell them I'm still legally married.
Okay.
Separate, but legally married. Some women ain't into that. Some women have been okay with it and didn't really care. Yeah, we live in two totally separate houses, two totally separate things. So there's no reconciliation going to happen. So yeah, it does make it complicated. Like some women just don't like that. And legally wise, like when we went to court and stuff, there was no um you're to blame or nothing like that. So I don't know what the laws are.
But
So I will say, because I was in the same situation when I was separated, we were both doing our own thing. So technically, by law, if you guys don't agree to, like, because there's a divorce you can do where you both agree, go to the courthouse, sign off same day. That's what we ended up doing. But you have to legally not live in the same dwelling for a year before you start divorce proceedings, technically. Now, you don't like how are they gonna prove that if
Right.
you can get 2 different addresses, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, legally in Maryland, you have to be living separate.
now, Renee, it's my understanding that that used to be the law
You're right.
in 2020, like
Recently,
just before COVID.
yes,
They nixed it
you're right.
because it was almost kind of like an undue burden
Yeah,
for it. Because we were running up on that when I was going
yeah.
through my divorce
So
in
same.
2019.
Yeah, so by the time I got divorced, it was finally gone. But when I started the divorce process, it wasn't gone.
Hmm.
So we took almost a year and a half, 2 years before we actually got divorced because we didn't have there was no reason to rush it. We just were living separate, doing our own thing, didn't really care. So we were just taking our time. Not that we didn't care. I cared, he cared, but it wasn't on our mind because we have kids too. So yeah.
They make it a lot more complicated.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Did you have more to your question, Shane?
No, that was it, and he answered it. I just some of that I'll throw on there. When I was going through my divorce, my ex-wife wanted to date while we were still going through it and having it be going through the court process. And while I didn't really care, I found it weird because I'm like, I know we're not going to reconcile, but I would just rather wait until the ink's dry. Like I didn't see a need personally for me to jump back in. And I don't know, it like I felt some type of way that she wanted to. And what I learned after the fact was there was already somebody there. And that's why the question was brought to me. So,
Dating.
because we were still living together at the time, just waiting until the lease ended because I couldn't afford to get my own place yet.
I feel like that's what was I don't know, but I feel like that's usually what the case is when somebody's so quick to get
Right.
into something.
And I've heard a lot that women, once they have told you that it's over, they've already detached from you emotionally,
Hmm.
however long ago, and they've already made plans to move on without you. Um, because a lot of times they won't wait. They want to make sure they're secure. They have some sort of backup plan or someone else who's waiting for them. And I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I'd have to ask you, man, how did that make you feel that you kind of knew that she just had someone waiting in the wings and more or less she'd, planned that out before she, like,
Oh, yeah, and I mean, just to be straight up, it sucked because again, I didn't understand the reasoning why. I'm like, why bring this to me? What I did know at the time, let me start over. What I did know at the time was that I felt, why bring this to me if you're not really going to care what my answer is anyway? I didn't understand that.
right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
why is this even something that you're bringing to me to talk to me about if you're just going to do whatever anyway?
At that point, it didn't matter to tell you.
It did exactly.
Yeah.
It didn't matter to tell me. So I didn't understand why even bring it to me if it doesn't really matter what I said or how I felt about it. You were just going to do it anyway. So I didn't get that. But yeah, I mean it felt shitty.
Yeah.
So
I can imagine. I think it's always best to wait if you can,
Hmm.
but I guess depending on the circumstances, if the person's a jerk, then yeah, go ahead and move on. Whatever way is going to make you move on the easiest, if they're a jerk. But
and see, I didn't want to get caught up legally, have something come back to me where they tried to hit me with well, you were technically still married, so that's adultery. And
Yeah.
by law, we can hem you up with this. So like a 4-year situation would be a nightmare for
Yeah.
me.
Hmm.
Well, I wasn't the first one to start dating. I wasn't going to because I didn't know about the laws and all that, and if that was an issue, you're like, okay, you adulted her, you automatically, she's going to win the custody and everything. So I waited. She started dating first, and then I started dating, and I was like, okay, so
Guess
you
that's
did
where
it
we are.
first, so
Yeah.
we're even.
so she
So
put the gloves on first, basically.
yeah, which is a good thing.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And how many dates have you been on since you've been separated?
You said 4 years. That's a long time.
A good amount, probably not as many as what I should have been on. But a
Serious
good
dates.
amount.
Dates that are more than 3 dates.
Maybe
Let's put on
two.
let's put on the 2. How much more?
No, not many. Not many in that case. I've taken a lot of women out, bought them nice dinners and stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Become sponsors later for these chicks.
yeah, I've done a lot of that. I've been a mental coach for a lot of women. Ego builder for a lot of
While you're keep
been that
going.
guy, but not a lot of multiple dates with the same one.
I actually have on my Bumble profile something similar to that. Give me 1 second. We'll pull it up.
Did you say a mental coach?
He
me-
said-
Yeah, there's been a couple
Uh,
girls that are just little, and they
Oh,
talk at you.
yes.
when
Like
you're
therapy
just-
talk.
yeah.
use me
Yeah.
for their therapy dump,
Yeah.
Yep.
and then never heard
Yeah.
from again.
Yeah.
I have gone on one of those.
Yeah.
Here's actually my profile, just the about me bio on my Bumble. So I said 6'2", athletic with a touch of nerdiness, no kids, never married. Left, little swipe thing. Save us both the waste of time. If you're thin-skinned, think you're perfect, can't handle jokes, think it's my job to get you to come out of your shell or to help your healing process from a previous relationship.
Yes.
You dated everybody.
So when I think about that, that's hilarious. If I read that, I'd be like, oh, okay, let me sweat because that's.
Now I often wonder, like, am I losing swipes from being that forward? But at the same time,
Yes,
am I
but
losing-
you're losing the
the-
right kind of swipes.
Right.
You don't want those people.
Exactly.
You're saving a lot of money.
Exactly.
Am I wrong? But I feel like, I don't want to deal with the BS, and I think you should come as much as I hate saying these new age like phrases. I think you should come healed.
What does coming healed sound like to you? No, I'm kidding.
Basically, like in the words of yeah, I did. Here we go.
Well, then get your shit together. Get it all together and put it in a backpack. All your shit. So it's together. And if you gotta take it somewhere, take it somewhere, you know? Take it to the shit store and sell it. Or put it in a shit museum. I don't care what you do. You just gotta get it together. Get your shit together.
I like that.
I
Yeah.
love that. That's perfect.
When you come at me, make sure you get your shit together, And if you don't let your shit interfere with my shit. So that's just how I feel about that.
Yeah, I've only did I did online dating for like maybe a year and a half.
Mhm.
Got tired of paying a subscription, got tired of taking everybody out to dinner. So I'm just in person now.
Mhm.
So you don't meet a whole lot of people,
How does the in person go for you?
Yeah, I was just about to
Yeah,
ask
'cause
that.
I don't do
I've
that,
had
but I
my
wish
best
I
luck
did.
in person. Because in order, on dating profiles, you got to be a good writer. You got to be able to bullshit and make yourself sound better than what you are.
I say sell
Um,
yourself, which I
Yeah,
hate doing
and I'm
that.
not good at that. So that's probably why I got the crowds that I got. At least in person, they kind of see what they're getting into. They talk to and kind of a couple of drinks and walk away right then or hang out for a little while. So I've had my best luck in person.
Now, are you the one that does the approaching? Do people approach you? Is it just you start chatting?
I
and-
usually do the approaching.
Okay.
I'll go out and see somebody I like and get up the nerve and go over and start talking and
Give us our approach.
So a straight up cold approach. I need to hear
That
this.
doesn't happen.
I need to hear this.
I will tell you that doesn't happen very often anymore.
you can't. Well, some people are shocked. They don't know what to do. And then with me being a little bit older now, people are even more shocked because I don't know. I guess I probably shouldn't be out on the dating scene or something at my age. So
Let's see.
Not at all.
No, I feel like we all are now. Like,
I'm just curious though, because he said he's 49. If maybe that's just around the time that you like cold approaching isn't something that people are probably maybe 40 and under just don't do anymore.
no.
And it's rare because, in my opinion, a lot of it came from. I don't think men are necessarily afraid of rejection, and culturally in the U.S., it's typically been the expectation of the men coming up and approaching women. However, there's been a shift in that if you're not somebody that they find attractive, there's the quick ew, I get the ick. And instead of, no or whatnot, they're quick to embarrass you and things like that. To where guys are just starting to go, you know what?
Why?
Why?
Right.
I'm good.
Yeah.
You come to me if you want.
I'm not doing it because Clayton, I don't know if you're hearing this, but in certain areas now, there's a lot of women going, men don't come up to us and speak anymore. Like I'll
Don't.
give them the look or whatever, and they'll look back, and that's it.
Done. Yeah. And I'll say it also has to do with all the Me Too stuff, in my personal
Yes.
opinion,
Mhm.
because honestly, women take certain things that guys
Rejection.
say the wrong way. Yeah.
Mhm.
They take it the wrong way and they're like, oh no, this guy's such a creep.
Mhm.
He didn't even really say much sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes there's creeps, yes,
Yes.
but sometimes they could take something as like small as a pickup line and be like, oh, he was so creepy. I felt so like
Right.
attacked.
I
It's
didn't
like,
feel
what?
safe.
Yeah. And I'm
Oh,
like,
can't stand that these
you
days.
guys didn't grow up in the time where guys could come talk to you. Because back when I was like younger, that's like you get pickup lines all the time.
Yeah.
So, oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
no, I was just gonna say there's nothing offensive about it. It's just
Mhm.
now everything is offensive.
So it's rare to hear somebody say, "I just go up and approach." So, so to the people that don't know, what does that sound like? This is a foreign
Well, the
thing
reasoning
right
in
now.
the first place is because, like, when you're out in the bar, there's a whole lot of people there, a whole lot of better looking, and so they're occupied. So if I don't make my approach, they're probably not going to make approach to me, because
Uh-huh.
there's a whole bunch of other stuff. So I got to make myself be known. When I finally get up the nerve, I'll walk up, I'll say something stupid like, you want to eat some chicken wings, something dumb. Uh, One time I bought this, instead of buying her a drink, I bought her a plate of chicken wings and had it delivered to her
Smart.
at the bar.
Damn.
And
That's
that
smart.
I'm taking
got her
notes.
attention. And so I went over, started talking to her. Yeah, just dumb stuff. I don't do pickup lines. Just say dumb shit that get a laugh. And then I can say my name and kind of get the feel whether they're want company or not. And you get that feeling and you'll just walk away so you don't make it creepy, because you don't want
Yeah.
to make it creepy.
Mhm.
And then with me being older, I'm more, I guess, aware of, because when older guys do things, it continue or considered more creepy than if a younger guy does it. So
Yeah.
you got to be careful and, walk away at the right time. So
Okay.
I don't think I've offended anybody yet. So
I think you're very self-aware, which
Right.
is great. If somebody wants to approach someone, just be self-aware, like whether it's a male or female, because women can be creepy too.
they can.
Hey,
I'm just
be
saying.
creepy on me. Never mind, babe. Sorry about that. My bad. You can be creepy on me all day, not these random people.
Yeah, I mean, when I was younger, I was like, yeah, please touch me. But now,
Don't say that now.
but nowadays, I'm just like, don't touch me without consent. Like, I don't know you. I don't know. Stop.
Everybody needs consent, first
Yeah.
off, because
I need to at least get to know you first.
yeah,
I've had girls come up behind you, grab your butt. Someone push you out the way. Some man. Like I said, I work in DC, and I talk to my coworkers like when we go to lunch, and there are I don't know if what it is with women these days, but y'all you're different. So we walk on the sidewalk, and sidewalks are only so big. As a matter of fact, we were walking on the sidewalk going to lunch one day. I think it was 2 days ago, and there was two ladies, one on each side of the sidewalk, and the middle was empty. So you would think especially when you're driving the right hand side of the road, and when you walk on the right hand side of the road. So we pretty much moved to the right hand side of the road of the sidewalk. This lady did not move. So I'm like, all right, fine, we'll just walk in the middle. But this happens so often. I'm just like, why do they think that?
this is my pet peeve. I'm from New York. We have sidewalk rules.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Walking in DC, I can't make eye contact. Like I'm gonna be set off. If somebody stops in front of me, a group stops in front of me,
Yeah.
so set off.
They'll take the whole sidewalk. I'm looking
Why?
at you weird for
Right.
like, you couldn't wait to walk around me?
No, I couldn't. I had somewhere to be. Obviously, that's what the sidewalk is for, to get somewhere.
And the thing is, like, I'm not being sexist, but every time it's happened to me when I'm in DC, it's always a woman. Men, they'll move over. They'll see you. And matter of fact, if the men are so good, if they're walking with their girl, they will actually. I've seen them physically move their.
I have
girl
seen
over.
that. Yes.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's just they don't have situational awareness, or they think that like they don't have to move because they're a woman, or whatever it is. But I wish that would change, have that more self-awareness to them.
I will say sometimes if somebody gets on my nerves, I get in front of them and do the same thing that they did to me. It's just me being petty because it's sidewalk rules.
Welcome to the world of petty. What were we talking about before? We went off on a tangent.
Talking,
The code
approaching.
approaching. That's
Yeah.
it's just like trust me, it is refreshing to hear that code approach is still a thing out in the wild, so to speak.
Yeah, I actually miss that because
I don't know if I'm doing it right. I just
It's
I mean-
still you're doing it.
you said you've gotten dates after, so I mean,
Yeah.
you've got to be doing it right.
nothing long term now.
Right.
But I think that's not common right now in the dating world. It's just weird out there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of another time. I didn't have the cold approach, but I was with my friend, and it was us two guys, and he started talking to this girl, and her girl was with one of her friends, and I was basically the wingman. Didn't really want to talk to her, but I was like, all right, fine. And she wasn't really my type. I was still chatting her up, but she thought that like I was into her. And I
No.
actually I had to put her into the friend zone, and she did not like that. I actually told her like, look, I'm just looking for friends right now. Never heard from her again. That was the last I heard from her.
Her feelings were hurt. She was just hurt.
I was nice about it. I didn't say like, oh, I don't like you or you're not my type. I was like, hey, we can just be friends. We can just chill. We can just kick it.
Ugly girls make good friends.
And she's watching. I didn't say that. But
It's my rule of thumb. If I'm not interested, you get friend zoned very quickly.
Mhm.
It's not like a let me just wait and see. No, quick friend zoning,
Mhm.
and then it's clear to everybody, and we can just be cool.
Right. And I think a lot of guys, they're better with letting women down when they're not interested.
Hmm.
Because it seems like it's sport now. It's blood sport for women. When they want to, shoot a guy down, they want to do it in the worst, the most, boisterous way. Or it's like when you go swimming and they're jumping off of the diving board and they're looking for all tens, looking at the girls like, what I score on that one?
It makes me think of those videos, like you see people on the street, and they're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna record walking down the street and see how many, I guess, glances I
Cat
get."
calls
Yeah,
and glances
and
and
then they make
things.
faces, and I'm like, "This is why no guy wants to approach anybody. Like, he didn't even do anything but walk past you."
You know what? That reminds me. So I know this girl, and I showed you the video a couple months ago, and I was debating putting up this video. I still might at some point. And she made a video, posted it to Facebook, and she was like, "I'm going out today without my bra." And she's recording it, and her nipples are poking out through her shirt, and she's basically like, free the nip, blah blah blah. And I guess some guys in the comment section were commenting and saying that they approved
Mhm.
in different words. She was upset, basically saying like, "What gives you the right to comment on my setup and everything under the sun?" I'm just like, "But you put it out there."
Not only did she put it out there, she put it out there purposely
Right.
for you to look. It's different if you just do it,
Mm-hmm.
but you made it the attention of the entire video.
Yes, that's my thing. If you want to go out in public and walk down the street with no bra on, fine. I don't care. I mean, I'll look. But the thing is, like, most guys aren't going to say anything. They'll be like, "Oh, nice pair of tatas." But the point I'm trying to get to is when you post it and you get upset about the reactions you get because you posted it on an open forum, on an open platform like Facebook, it made no sense to me. And I don't get why people do that. Now, I'm being generous when I say people.
They like
You know,
attention.
And just to be clear, like it's perfectly fine for you to go and do all these things and be free, dress how you want to.
Mhm.
It's just when you then try to target people
Right.
because they said something when
Mhm.
you knew
Yeah.
that was going to happen.
That'd be like me going out in public wearing gray sweatpants with my camera and be like, "Oh my God, there's so many girls checking out between my legs when I was wearing my gray sweatpants. How dare they?" I know what I'd be doing if I'm wearing gray sweatpants in public.
Set up every time.
I can get away with the gray sweatpants.
Oh, okay. We're going to jump into one of our questions for tonight. So actually, we have all of you guys are single parents, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are your thoughts on dating a single parent?
So here's the thing. Like, I'm very protective of who meets my children because I have daughters, number one.
Rightfully so.
I have teenage daughters on top of that. So they
Okay.
are almost adults.
Mhm.
So I have to really be very careful with who I introduce to my children. There's got to be a certain amount of trust I have before I will even allow anyone to see the children,
Right.
even if it's a picture. But it's scary because I'm always trying to protect them, but then also trying to live my life too. And it's like sometimes I have to pick and choose. Like dating apps for me is scary because I'm never gonna want to invite someone that I don't really know to an area where I could be out with my family
Yeah.
or out with my kids. So like it for me it's very weird. I don't enjoy being a single parent and dating because I feel like I have so many more things to watch out for.
Yeah, your guard's super high
Exactly.
because your guard isn't up just for you; it's for
Right.
your kids as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I'll go next. There's a couple of things about it. So for me, and is the question regarding me dating another single parent?
See,
Okay. So screen. For me, I screened against it, but my reason why was this. I understand as a parent the time commitment that it takes to ensure that your kids have what they needed, as well as trying to find time to go on a date with somebody else. If I were to date somebody that was a single parent, I had a preference that they had older kids, like kids that you could say, hey, like for me, my daughter was old enough at the time that I could just go out and I knew she wasn't going to burn the house down, or if DF Child Protective Services got called on me or whatnot. Like I wasn't breaking any rules as
Mhm.
far as that go. Like no young kids or anything like that. And my reason was selfish for time commitment type stuff. The two people that I dated who were single parents fit that category of they were older, or their kids were older, so the time commitment wasn't as hard to try to make something work out. And everybody else either had one kid who was older or didn't have any kids. So I didn't have the hardship that I've heard of other people going through of trying to make things work out, but the timing thing was always an issue because if it wasn't work, it was home stuff as far as things uh with the kid. But I screened for that because that was a personal preference
I can
for me.
honestly say if I had young children, I wouldn't be dating.
I don't see how people with
Yeah,
young children do it.
not at all. Like if my guard is up now, like it would be like I'm gonna give them all of my time and attention because I'm not gonna leave them at home with a babysitter when they really want my attention.
right.
Like that just doesn't feel fair to me. So I do appreciate that my kids are older. I just know for me, when they were younger, they took up any time that I wasn't working or cleaning or cooking. Like that was it. I
Yep.
couldn't do it.
Yeah, my personal preference, and it's not like a hard no, but my first preference is not to date single moms, more because I've tried in the past and you make plans with them, and I totally get it. Things happen with the kids, babysitter might fall through, but you get to a point where you're tired of making plans and the plans get canceled. And you're just like, what am I putting in this effort for when it seems like it's not being reciprocated? But it's not really that. It's because they have other responsibilities that they have to address. And I'm just like, maybe you need to take some time out until your kids are a bit older and put dating on hold until you can actually have a relationship with someone, because that guy deserves your time just as much as your kids do. Now, someone might say, no, my kids come first, but depending on what position you're trying to put that man into, whether he's going to be your boyfriend or your next husband, whatever it is, you need to be able to give him the right, proper amount of time
Mm-hmm.
that he deserves.
Yeah.
And to keep on blowing him off or saying I can't make it or I'm sick or just too many excuses, that's when I just tap out. I'm like, you know what? Maybe if our paths cross again down the road, maybe. But me personally, I'm more or less looking for women that don't have kids because it's a scheduling nightmare basically.
Yeah.
So nothing towards them and their choices or whatever their life past led them, but the scheduling, that's what leads me away from it.
I totally get it now. I share a car with my 17-year-old. So if this wasn't close enough, I can't do anything at the time.
And Clayton, I mean,
I haven't really had any issues with any single moms. I myself, I don't really bring any women over to the house. If my son's gonna be, he lives with me, so I don't bring nobody over to the house if he's gonna be there, unless I've only done it twice, and it was because I've been around a girl, more than 3 or 4 times, and thought she seemed like she gonna stick around for a while. So then I introduced because I don't want my son to get the wrong idea
mhm.
about how a guy's supposed to be. So I've only introduced. He's only known about two women that I've dated. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm worried about my kids, so I understand a woman. I'd be.
Is
You got to be cautious 'cause there's a lot of weirdos.
is he
Yeah.
teen, preteen, or
My son's 19.
okay?
19. Yeah, I know he's a grown man, but I
No,
don't even get the wrong idea of
I say they're not grown till 24 at
bringing.
least.
Well,
No,
legally, but I don't want to be
okay.
bringing a woman home like once a week and
Yeah.
different. He's thinking weird stuff. So
Yeah.
And Sean, I'll also add to that too. I didn't want to date anybody who just had just a daughter. Even though I'm the father of a daughter myself, I would hear stories from uh lady family members or friends or things about the people that they're talking to and how they perceive somebody looking at their kid and things like that. And I'm the father of a young girl soon. Well, she's about to be 18 myself. And I'm like, I didn't want to be in that category of something just perceived the wrong way. So I also eliminated if it was a single mom with just girls. If it was a daughter and a son,
Mhm.
fine. But if I ever heard it's just me and my daughter or me and my 2, 3 girls,
Mhm.
I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. If you guys how you guys feel about dating single parents. If you have, if you haven't, if you stay away from it, if that's what you want. Remember, we long time ago, about a year or two ago, there was a certain person, a certain YouTube personality. We know the other person, and we had a live back and forth. And he said that he preferred dating single moms.
Ah, yes.
I feel
Yes.
like though that's like one of those like there's certain men that look for that. Like
Yeah.
try and I don't want to say trap, but I don't know a better word because I feel like single mothers are vulnerable.
Yes. There's a weakness there.
Yeah.
Not all the time.
Not all the time,
Yeah.
yes. But I noticed that when I was first single,
Mhm.
that it seemed like that was a thing. Like every time I was like, oh, I'm a single mom, and they'd be like, "Oh man, you need a stepfather." What? No, I'm not. No. Whoa.
I'm
No.
not signing up for that one.
Yeah, and
Nope.
I'm like, they would drop little things like that, and I'm like, nope, never talking to you
It's
again.
weird for a guy to want to be a stepdad.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you can't have kids.
Yeah, that's totally different.
Yeah, but if you can have kids, whatever, or you've already had kids, you're like, I want to be another step. I'm like, you already have kids.
Yeah.
And he also said, like, I just love kids, man. I just love being around kids. And I was like, that's really weird.
Yeah. And it really does depend on when you know them. Like if you've been dating for a long time, they're like, yeah, it would be great to be like, because I care about your family and like years down the line, that's different.
Yeah.
Whereas when you first start to talk and you start bringing up stepdad or like even another sidetrack, but another thing is, oh, I would marry you. Like, why is that? Like, I've heard that in the we aren't even boyfriend girlfriend stage.
Yeah.
I would marry you in a heartbeat. I I don't want to get married. Why does that sound like a line that would work along with being a stepdad? Like, nobody's looking for that.
So, like, if a guy's like, I want to put a baby in you, doesn't work either.
I've heard that too. No, I got 2 teenagers. I want to start over? No, I'm done. Yeah, no. That's one of those ick things. It's an ugh.
And another like soft take is like I think like single parents should date. Not all, whatever works out for you, that's fine. But y'all should look towards if you guys want to date someone else who's a single parent. Me personally, no kids, never married. I do want to have kids. I've come across so many different women. They don't want to have kids, or they say like I'm done having kids, but they want a relationship. I'm like that's great, but they'll still want to talk to me. But like, but I want kids. This isn't going to work out. So one of us has to, figure this out.
Okay.
So I'm just like, just go date another single parent. I mean, at least in my situation, it's not gonna work. We can be friends. Friends is fun. No problem being friends. But anything like more serious than that, I probably don't see it unless they're able to show me like what I'm gonna get, like what value I'm gonna get out of you, and not in a negative narcissistic way, but to show me that like this isn't going to be detrimental to my peace, detrimental to my growth, detrimental to my bank account. You got to show me that it's going to be a good option for me to want to get with you, and you have kids ready.
What's interesting that I didn't think about, the people that I've dated who were single fathers, I had the better relationship building with. We didn't stay together long, but we had a better, I feel like, dating time than the ones that didn't have kids. So I think that's maybe there's something there with single parents should be dating single parents, but it just seemed like I had better experiences with single parents.
Yeah, because you guys have been through some of the same trials and tribulations. I get it. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably telling too much here, but sometimes I'll just be like, these single moms out here and things don't work out. I'm just like, how dare you?
Yes.
How dare?
Yes. Yes.
I'm just like, I got a clip here.
It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground.
That's basically how I feel. Like, I have the high ground. You had a relationship, didn't work out, and you got kids. Those are bills. And I know you love them, but those are bills. And I'm just like, I feel like you should treat me a lot better because I have the high ground.
I kind of agree, if that's the case.
So I thought, make sure I killed that. But yeah, I mean, people who are watching probably like, oh, he's a jerk. But no, it's real. Everyone has their preferences. I'm not saying single moms are out of the running for me, but they got a larger mountain to climb with me. So, did you have something? I heard something.
No, well, I kind of understand what you're saying there. Not really dating, but talking to a girl. She's 42, got a 2-year-old kid,
It's too
and she
young.
thinks she's God's gift to the world, and doesn't have a great job, rents a room in a house,
Nope.
but yet every time I take her out, I mean, we go to rather good places, and she picks them, and quite expensive. But then she'll leave me, alone for like a week or two.
Mm.
Then she'll call me, "You miss me?" I'm like, "I guess." And then she'll like she needs her ego boosted again or something. But I'm thinking in my head, you act like you're up here at this pot of gold, and you're past your prime. You got a 2-year-old kid. You don't have nothing to offer, but yet you act like you're the main course here. So it's funny. Yeah, I mean, it's just people are crazy these days. I
I mean,
don't
what's some
understand it.
advice for you?
Run. Before you get to question number 2, I have a question for Clayton. Clayton, ghosting was a term that I never heard about because I was in a 14-year marriage, and then I came out of my 14-year marriage and found that dating was just awkward, weird, and a waste of time. Do you have any stories about ghosting as somebody that's a little bit older here on the panel?
Me being ghosted, yeah, it happens a
Yeah.
lot. Happened a lot on on dating.
What's one of your more recent stories? Like, how did it happen?
Nothing recent. I mean, basically, it happened on I mean, like when I was online dating, I'd go out, take somebody out to dinner or something, have a really good time, blah, 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 blah. They set up another date, but then you never hear from them again.
Just before the show, you talked about one. So I'm trying to prep that story for you.
Which I'm trying to
Met
think.
somebody, y'all talked things through, you followed up with the person, then they ghosted you.
Trying to think which one did I say?
That's also kind
You've
of a
had
sign
more?
that ghosting happens. I can't lie. When it comes to dating apps, there's days where I'm like, I just don't want to
Oh, okay,
open the
I got
app.
you. Yeah, now I remember. Yeah, I met a girl. It was like in November, and she insisted that she likes me and stuff. She seemed to be more interested in another group of people, but she got my number and stuff. Um, Long story short, she texted me the next day or day after, whatever. We got together, took her out to dinner. Um, Things went cool. Then I set up, we'll go out on the movies, or go to the movies, like later that week, and she calls me during the day and tells me that she's not canceling, but she's sick and she might have to cancel. I'm like, okay, well, just go ahead and cancel then. So long story short, I text her later that night. I said, you feeling any better? Hope you get to feeling better, and let me know when, you want to go back, go to the movies, whatever. Never heard from her again. And about 3, 4 weeks ago, she texted me. She goes, "You ghosted me." And it took me a minute. I had to look through text to find out who she was. I'm like, I think you got the wrong person here. And she's like, "No, you never, you never text me back." I was like, "I left it in your court. I said, I hope you're feeling better." You never said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I've been busy." This has been 6 months. And so
Damn, what's she doing for 6 months?
once
She was sick the whole time.
Yeah.
once so that just kind of hung right there. And then about 2 weeks after that, she texts me. She goes, "I'm in town. I understand if you don't want to, but you want to hang out tomorrow?" I said, "Well, I'm probably gonna be busy, but I'll let you know." She goes, "Okay, well, just let me know." And I never ain't ever heard from her again.
That's the right way.
But
Yeah, I agree with that.
oh, if I when I meet people, I give them my phone number, and if they call me, great. I don't, because it's just weird. I'm
Mhm.
sure most women got numerous guys giving them phone numbers
Roster.
and all that. So I try to play myself a little more important and not, oh, let me have your number. Let me have, give you my number. It ball's in your court. If you want to talk, we'll talk. If not, oh well.
And in my mind, no matter who it is, if you disappear for months or weeks and then you magically come back, it means something didn't work out. And now you're
yeah.
regretting giving up someone who was quality.
Yeah.
So don't know, you can't come back now. I've already written you like you're out of the picture.
I agree.
I'm a little naive, but I ain't that stupid and not that desperate. So I have my pride, and it's been taken down a notch or two here and there, but I try to stick with it. I don't chase nobody. I ain't begging nobody. I just
chase around here.
Just one girl. She had just went to the Dominican Republic and came back, and then we had only started talking like 2 weeks before, and she asked me for $150 to pay her rent. And right off the bat, I wanted to, she's the single mom of the 2-year-old. I wanted to tell her what I wanted to tell her, but I said, I'm sorry. I wish I could, but I can't afford that. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, you broke.
Didn't hear from her again. 2 weeks later, she texts me, you miss me? Blah, blah, blah. All that stuff again. And she just likes me to take her out to dinner, but I haven't taken her out in quite a while. But she'll text me like every couple weeks. And so I just play her around now too. Play the stupid stuff back at her.
You should just text her and ask her for $150 and see.
I should.
Just see how it goes.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of got the impression, it was after a couple dates and she asked me for that. Like, who goes on vacation and then comes back and asks a guy, you don't even know really for money? I'm like, okay, I see what kind of guy you think I am. And
she's looking for a wallet, not for a relationship. Yeah. But if you can afford to go on the vacation, why'd you go on the vacation if you don't have the money?
Probably some other dude paid for it.
Yeah, I was like, it was sponsored by somebody else, it sounds like.
Yeah, the first time we had a date and she has a 2-year-old. This is the first time we would have went out and she canceled like 2 hours before. And I'm like, okay, done, Didn't talk to her. And about almost 2 weeks later, she texts me. And I'm like, what's up? She goes, you never text me back. I was like, you canceled on me. Yeah, you never called me back to set or text me back to set anything up. I was like, yeah,
that's on
you
her.
Canceled. I'm not chasing. I don't know what it is about women. They want you to, they want to think that they've got all these people after them. And it's crazy.
See, in my mind, no matter who it is, if you cancel, you have to set up the next one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
I don't know what's so hard about that. Like if you say I can't make it or I don't want to go, call me back and set up the next one.
Let me know what works for you next.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, I have a lot of weird stories like that. I don't know. I guess I just draw the wrong crowd.
No, it's not just yeah. We've been talking about all our.
Have you? I got, before we segue into a different question. How much do you think you've wasted on like first dates that like went nowhere?
Ooh, like a good estimate of a round number. And don't think time, specifically money, right?
Specifically money.
How much money do you think that you've spent over the last couple of years on first dates that have gone nowhere?
Not so much as first dates, just women being not completely genuine with you.
Oh.
Because when you said that she asked you for $150, that brought back a memory to me. There was this girl that I knew, said she was getting evicted. This was years ago, years before I was this smart and this good looking. And said she was getting evicted and she needed $450.
That's a lot of money.
Well, this is
no, that's a lot to ask from someone who's not your boyfriend, fiance, or husband.
That part.
But she oof.
You fell for it, Sean.
And she told me she was gonna pay me back. And like I said, I was very green back then. I was still in my, white knighting stage and wanting to do the right thing and help out a woman in need. And long story short, she never paid me back, and she ended up moving to Florida.
You bought her plane tickets.
Thank you.
This is one of my times. I was like,
I think you paid for her movers.
I don't know what I paid for. I never saw that money again.
See, that's why I have this rule, because I have been with guys who ask to borrow money, which is weird to me. Like, I also will not ask to borrow money. I mean, unless you owe me money or something like that. I usually don't. I don't like to owe anyone, and I don't want anybody to, like, vice versa. But I can't imagine giving someone that much money and for them to kind of like disappear, like
Stunned with
essentially
it. Yeah.
disappear. Yeah.
And then act like they don't know you and they didn't take the money either.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it so easy for women to do that?
It's not because I don't do that. I can't do that. It's not. Sorry.
No, it's
Correction. Not all of them.
yeah, not all of them. But it seems to be a trend. I've been through it a lot. Like I said, that's why I'm asking you how much you think you spent, because I could go on for a while on how much I spent or lost.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I have to calculate how many dates, roughly 50 to 100 so dollars a date.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
I don't know. At least a couple grand, I would say.
Well, and see, okay, so I've gone on dates where I've offered to pay because if I've asked you to go out with me
Mhm.
or I've picked a restaurant, I know the pricing, and I'm like, oh, you took me out last time, I'll pay for this time,
Yeah.
and I've been turned down, which is fine. If you don't want me to pay, that's fine. But why is it so often that women don't? There's no reciprocation.
None.
Like
Feel
I don't
obligated. I
understand
mean,
that.
they feel entitled.
Yes.
Even an offer, like I don't ask to split it, but
Mhm.
I will say, hey, you got this last date, I'm gonna get the next one. I'll take you to the movies. I'll like if you cover the first date,
And that's the nice
Mm.
thing. I mean, the gesture. Well,
yeah,
of course, a gentleman's not going to let you
right.
pay,
It's
but
very
the
rare that they say
gesture
yes.
is very
Yeah,
much appreciated.
right,
Like
Let 'em pay.
she's not a gold digger, she's willing. So,
right.
but most guys ain't going to let you.
No,
That's one
the
of my
good ones
non-sexual
don't.
turn-ons.
Yeah.
Like, you ladies know right now. You want to get me going, like
Take Sean to
yeah,
dinner.
offer to pay. I love that. I usually will say no. Pretty much like 95% of the time, I'll tell you no.
Yeah.
But man, when a woman's like, "No, I'm taking you out. I'm gonna pay," I'm just like I tell that last chick, and she's like, "When can I take you out?" This is after our second date, and she's like, "When can I take you out? When can I pay?" I was like, "Wait, when can you pay?" I was like, "Let's go to the dealership right now and get some rings."
Mm.
I just don't understand the entitlement that says, "Oh no, you could take me out every time. I'll pick the expensive restaurants and you just pay for it." Like
I think it all has to do with social media these days.
it does.
With
It
all the
really does.
posts, and then these kids watch it and say, "Oh, well, I'm entitled. Well, this is what they're supposed to do. This is how it's supposed to be." So I think social media is what's
Yeah.
uh, polluted it, I guess, for
A lot of people
lack of a
don't like
word.
working for what they have anymore, so that makes sense.
Mhm.
Sean, I remember the first time somebody wanted to treat me out, and the way that it came about, me and my daughter would go to the bookstore, and we were regulars there at a regular time. And if you go during the same time, you typically kind of see the same people.
Yeah.
Where it was this one lady that she'd be there with her kid or whatever, yada yada. We bumped into each other, started chit chatting, and she goes, "Hey," she goes, "I think you're," her exact words, "I think you're a pretty dope individual. I'd like to go out on a date with you sometime." And this was shortly after my divorce. And I said, "Look, I'm gonna be straight up. I'm like Baroque from the Baroque era. Like, I can't afford to go out right now." She said, "Don't worry about it. I got you. I just want to spend some time with you."
Like,
I was like, I told her, I looked, I was like, I don't really know what to do or say right now.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say yes before
Yes.
you change your mind.
exactly.
She was like, "Here's my number. Call me and let's set something up." Went out on a fantastic date.
Mhm.
Date number 2, she says that she's getting back with her ex. She goes,
Oh,
"Hey, I had a great time." She goes, "I'm not gonna like lead you on or anything, but me and my ex-husband are looking at trying to work things out." I was like,
dang.
"That was the setup, man." Yes. And she goes, "That's why I like you, because you're just low key and that's hilarious. And I did enjoy spending time with you." And I think they did get married.
There you go.
So they
Whoa.
got back together and got back married, because I would see her often. And she's like, "Hey," and then I just saw the ring on her
And you're like,
finger,
I
and I was like, "Okay,
You
I
had
I helped do that."
you had a good luck Chuck moment.
But see, I appreciate the honesty. I only had one guy tell me once. He was like, "Yeah, we can't go out this day because I don't get paid, and I had bills, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh, I'll pay. That's fine. You've already paid for X, Y,
Yeah,
Z."
I was shocked.
And like the fact that you can admit that you don't have it,
Right.
that right there is good enough. Like I don't understand why some women are like, "Oh, you don't have it. I guess we're not going out."
Right. You can
What?
afford me.
That too.
Well, if he has you pick him up and drive him over to the house and collect the money from the friend that owes him $10.
I have seen videos where the girl's like, I picked him up, and then he had the nerve to be like, "Can you take me home after a bad date?" It's like, wait, he didn't have a car? She was like, no. Like, there's a whole video.
Well, you kind of sound for that though. If you pick somebody up, I mean, unless they're just utterly terrible, you got to bring them back.
That's why I always meet up. I'm not picking anybody up. We can meet up at the place,
Mhm.
and you can get home. Like, unless we're like seriously dating, I'm not taking you in my car. Like, that alone. Why would I put a stranger in my car with me?
I've done that, and it kind of gives me a gauge on kind of woman she is and where her mind is. I'm like, you willing to get into a car with a strange person you don't even know?
Right.
You could end up missing.
Before I got married down south, that's common.
Mhm.
I
Like
couldn't.
in Alabama or Georgia or whatnot, like it's common to go pick somebody up. And like I did that one time. The only reason why I regretted doing it was the date was bad. And then after, like she was on her phone the entire time. And this was pre-smartphone. We're talking 2003 days.
Like, what could you be doing?
She was
Playing
on her
Snake?
phone, playing Snake or Hangman or something the entire time. And had the audacity that when I took her back home, she got mad at me for not like doing the Southern gentleman thing of
Oh,
getting out the car and and this is the first time that I had heard the term hoe drop off. She goes, "Oh, so you're just gonna do a hoe drop off?" I'm
I
like,
never heard that
yeah,
before.
me neither. I'm like, first of all, I don't know what that is, and second of all, did you think anything about today was good when we went out and you was more on your phone than
Mm.
spending time with me?
Why
I
would
said
I open
no.
the door?
And the jacked up part about it, I did feel bad about this. Her mom was at the door. Like, so I was 19 and 18, I want to say. But her mom was like at the door waiting for her when I took her back home. Again, so this is the South. But no, I didn't get out. And like the jacked up part about this was somebody that I didn't work with her, but because of what I did and what she did, we would see each other often. And that was the last time I did that shit. I'm like, I'd rather stay away from people that
You work.
I would work together or see on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But yeah, she stayed. She's like, yeah, I had a good time. I'm like, no, I didn't get that because you were in your phone 80% of the time. So yeah, I'm doing a whole drop off, even though I
Shut
didn't
on her
know what that
mom.
was. Hey, so her mom was in her 30s at the time because I guess she had her when she was young.
Mhm.
Mom was all right.
Mm.
I'm just saying, mom was all right. And my 19-year-old horny self would have given it to her.
Sometimes you gotta put them in their place. Only when that matters. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, keep acting up. I'm gonna go see your mom real quick. I'm gonna be your dad in about a month.
Stepdad, remember?
Sorry,
Yeah.
stepdad. Interim stepdad, because you don't want to stay there. All right. I wanted to ask you, Clayton, have you ever heard the term passport bro?
No, I have not.
Oh.
Well, before you guys say anything,
Mm,
what do you think it might mean?
mm.
I'm assuming it's like a sugar daddy is going to be taking you on trips a lot. I don't know.
That sounds better than
Interesting.
what it is.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, no, well, not really.
Mhm.
No, that's
For the
better
girl,
than what
maybe.
it is.
For the girl.
Yeah.
For the girl, it's better.
As I roll my eyes. I only found out about it because of someone I was dating.
Mhm.
They were following it and like hardcore liking their stuff, and I was like, "What is this?"
Mhm.
And then I found out, and I was like, "Why are we dating?" Because
I mean, I want to kind of have like a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory kind of musical moment right now for you to tell you about what the Passport Bros is. It's like, come with me and you'll see. I don't know the rest of the song goes, but basically what a passport bro is a lot of men in the Western states here in America have gotten tired of the way women move in this country. And as we've been talking about, a lot of wants and not wanting to reciprocate. And as we know, there are women in different countries that are still traditional and want to be traditional. So a lot of men are going to be different. Careful, they might be watching.
sorry, I had to.
The traditional sense where they want to take care of their man, and it's like I said, it's reciprocal because they're probably going to stay home, give you some kids if you want kids, cook for you, clean, the regular traditional stuff that we kind of come to want nowadays. And they're not going to be combative with you. It's going to be very ecumenical.
You're right. I'm laughing because you're right. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's the enticing part about it.
Yeah, we just want someone who's nice and someone who looks nice and someone who isn't overweight. But that's basically what the kind of comes down to passport bros. That's what it's supposed to be. A lot of them are.
Women are women who are in bad situations most of the time, and you're coming in to save them from that
Not
situation.
necessarily. Not necessarily.
When I say bad situations, meaning she's living probably in a 1-bedroom apartment with 6 other girls trying to get married to be taken care of for the rest of her life. And so she's not going to complain when you start taking care of her because she didn't have nothing before.
Not until you bring her over here and give her something.
Maybe
Oh,
be
no,
clear
but
about that.
no, because when she
Never
gets
bring them
here,
back here.
because when you bring them back here, they get to realizing
Mhm.
that women have freedom.
You never saw Eddie Murphy Raw?
Oh yeah, I'm saying yeah, the
remember-
goody goo goo. Yeah.
Eddie, why you treat me like animal?
I didn't know there was a term passport, bro. But being in the military, you see all the older white dudes that are always married to a
Asian.
won't say Asian. But then lately on TikTok, I've been seeing a lot of that because you click on one video, you get more, and all these old white dudes married to like a 20-year-old Thai girl or Filipino or something. So I didn't know there was a term.
Yeah.
term
So
to
I
it.
don't care what nobody say. Those are the original passport
They
bros.
are.
To
They
me,
just made a name
they're
for
the
it.
OG passport bros.
That was a thing, yeah, because even the old guy, I'm like, when I was in Korea, the old guys would talk about, they're going to retire and then go move to Philippines,
Mhm.
get them a girl, they can live cheap over there, and the women are so much nicer.
But they're nicer because they're submissive, because that's what they were taught.
That's where we're raised.
That's how they were raised. The guy's supposed to take care of you. I'm only laughing because I saw this video the other day where this tribe, when they get married, the men cut off their arms.
Wait, what?
Yes, they cut off their arms because their wives have to do everything to take care of them. It's them showing
Both arms?
both arms,
Oh,
I'm not signed for that.
like armless. And
Are you sure it's real? It wasn't AI?
That place can't be existed too
I'm pretty
long.
sure it's not AI, because then the men are like walking in lines together as their wives are like, "Yeah, we take care of them." They're like, it's a village. It's not like built up like this, but it shows them that they really trust their wives to take care of them. Is what it said.
It's like them as scared.
I showed it to my coworker and I was dying. I was like, he's getting married. I was like, is this what you're like? He was like, hell no. I was like,
You really
I've
got to
heard of
trust her
this.
because
Drop
if
in
she
the comments
leaves, you
for
can't
us.
even take care of yourself.
you
Then.
literally cannot wipe yourself. Like,
I'm not saying you're lying, but
I
I just
know.
can't believe that's.
and I look for things to see if they're AI, and it looked too real. Not gonna lie, it looked real. And if I find it, I will send it your way. So
There must be some bomb females who just cut off both your arms.
I want to know what they are so I don't end up
it's my tradition.
by accident.
But if you think about it, they don't have to do anything. They can't work. They literally cannot do anything.
Well, then what value or purpose does the man provide without his arms? What utility does he provide?
That's
with
a-
no
the
arms?
mind, Sean, and the direction.
Oh, that's right. Direct.
They're
He
selling their
is-
arms on the black market.
Me.
What do they do with the arms? Don't think about it.
Oh,
I'm still
man.
gonna look this up. I'm really curious. Genuinely curious.
It's got to be in my liked video somewhere. I'm gonna look for it after this.
Wow. Yeah, so that's what the Passport Bros is basically about at its core. Going outside the country to find a suitable wife, or a suitable companion.
Some of the advertisement makes it like a party life too.
Right.
Like you go out, meet all these beautiful women,
Mhm.
they cater to you, you live this amazing life of just traveling the world finding women.
Right.
It's funny you do bring that up though, because I did just get my passport. Like
Yes.
Yes.
everybody been talking about that, but my thing is, no offense here, but I'm not really into Asian women. And then traveling all the way across the world, and I got kids here, and then trying to, start a new life in a country you don't know or speak, or you could pick your nose or something wrong, get arrested, thrown in some Thai prison for the rest. And I'm like,
Oh,
I ain't got the nerves to go over and try to live in a
So what
foreign
woman
country.
is your flavor?
That's what I was just gonna ask.
Pretty much like any. I mean,
You just said no Asian, so it can't be any.
I'm not that attracted that I would move across
Gotcha.
country,
world
the
for
world.
you.
I'm tracking.
Okay. all right.
But I just like, I mean, a woman that takes care of herself, looks good.
Has a
skin-
decent personpersonality, it sounds
Gotta
like.
have a good personality,
Yeah.
sense of humor.
Good luck finding that.
Yeah, no,
What?
Damn.
I'm joking.
because I'm a bit of a strange person, I guess. A
About
lot of
Holy
people
Grail
say
first.
so.
I like
I'm a little weird to
laughing.
get along with. So I need a compatible person.
Right. A bit of sensibility, I feel like should be in there.
Sean, it's just dawning on me that the first time, one of my first trips after I got divorced, I went to Bogota. I didn't tell nobody. I just went. And getting off the airplane and seeing the glares and looks that I got and the attention that I had and the good time that I had when I was down there, I don't know how I didn't get my eyes open faster when I came back and was just so frustrated with trying to date back here
Right.
because I had people wanting to take care of me just for existing.
And they're also thankful for the things you do for them. They actually say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And
We say thank you.
where's that? Real quick. I'm looking at, but
Took there was one particular person took me to the airport on my last day, like I had plans, like no, I got you, sweetie, don't worry about it, yada yada. I had somebody want to like show me around and different things like that. I didn't spend any money on
You come
her
back.
to do
That
that.
sounds amazing.
It was, and I don't know why my eyes didn't get open so much faster because I came back and was bumping my head
yeah,
dating here in the States.
I agree.
And it took things a while to click. So I'd be real curious, post military, post divorce, if you do go overseas and decide to dabble, what your experience would be like.
Yeah, my first time coming back from Colombia, I think the first thing I said, I was like, great, I'm back in the land of flat butts.
So what's funny, I went to Colombia too. The amount of men that there are from America there far ways outnumber the amount of American women traveling there. Like the club was mostly American men, like 90%.
Yeah.
And then the only women that it felt like were in the club were the ones that lived there.
Yeah.
Nice.
I felt so out of place. I was like, okay, I wasn't going for the club. I was probably the I don't know. I was the oldest person there in the group of women that went. I just felt like I was probably the responsible one, and they were all there to party, and I was like,
DD, but
pretty much, yeah.
I'm not like a club person as well, but I think you seem like somebody that would at least be in the mix a bit.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I can't dance. I don't go to a club to
Same.
dance,
I
but I
listen to
do
music
like a
and I
social
mingle.
environment. Yes.
But the way that a lot of people are in the club now, like there used to be dance floors. There's none of that anymore. You just dance at the table on the table, and it's like, oh, this is not cool. I don't like this. Yeah. But no, there was a lot of American men there. It was kind of weird to me, but they were all being catered to.
That's what. And here's the thing, ladies, whoever, all four of you that are watching this show, if you're having a tough time, switch this camera. If you're having a tough time, finding a man or the kind of man that you want, the recipe is really simple. Now, go ahead and get your pen and paper there. Okay. Step 1, be nice.
What is nice? Maybe they don't know.
I find that I'm nice. I mean,
I find that I'm nice, and I've been told that I wasn't nice, which I'm like the nicest
I think
person.
You are pretty nice,
right?
Yeah.
I don't know what I say or do that comes off as not nice because I'm generally the same with everyone.
Yeah, I get it.
So what is nice? What does a woman have to do to be nice to you?
To be approachable, to be within your feminine, and also have your femininity radiating off of you. Not necessarily shining, but just radiating.
Yeah.
That the point if you walk into a room and you're turning eyes, and not so much because your looks, people just kind of know, like, damn, that's a woman right there. You're wearing who you are on your outside.
Confidence.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
No, I'm saying you're right. Yeah, the confident, just the way it's like a way a woman carries herself is she ain't got to be very pretty. I mean, it's just the way they carry themselves makes it attractive.
Bingo.
And I don't know. It's hard to explain if you don't. I mean, I think guys kind of understand because you can be hot but still not attractive to nobody because your personality, your being sucks.
And that's what I feel like most of Instagram is right now. But that's why I asked that, because all these women think they're nice. But I'm like, well, I don't know that they know what nice is.
They're nice for making money.
Right.
For taking your money.
Yeah, those two.
And the next thing, well, I'm just going to use one of it's not really an acronym, but fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative. Thank you. Those are kind of like the 4 tenets, just being a good woman and finding a good man. Because we'll be looking for it. Because the thing is, what you want to do is you want to be able to stand out from the rest of the crowd. And whether you know it or not, a lot of you women, you guys have a group think. You got there's a hive mind that's going on there. If you guys can separate yourself from that hive mind, a man is going to see that. As I spoke on earlier, when I was on a second date with a woman, and she said, "When can I take you out, and when are you let me pay?" That, like I told you, man, all my senses lit up when she said that. I'm not even joking because I can't remember the last time I've even heard that from a woman that outside the norm and she wants to do something nice for me. That is what's going to set you apart. But when you're always with your hand out and saying, I want this, and when are you going to do this for me? That's when you're like the rest, and guys aren't going to want that. That's why guys are going to other countries, because those women in those other countries, they're going to treat you well. They're going to cook for you. They're going to inspire you. They're going to do anything they can do to keep you happy, because there is that reciprocal relationship that they know it must be there for things to keep going on in a pleasant fashion. So it can't just be take, take, take. It must be give and take, because
it's a two-way street, a bridge, right? Course, it sets up a connection both ways.
Yeah.
Ways.
And there's also, I mean,
It is impossible to create something out of nothing. If one wishes to obtain something of equal value must be given. This is the law of equivalent exchange.
That part.
yeah. So it's about equivalent exchange. You got to give something to get something. It can't just be taken all the time, because it's a one-way street, and that's not how relationships work.
I think that's why the dating world is so terrible, because men think women are going to do that, and women think they're supposed to do that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you brought that up there. I see a therapist once a week, and we went over a lot of my dating stories and stuff. But he's a tennis player, and he said, relationships are a tennis game.
Mm.
You hit the ball, they don't hit it back. Don't go chase after that ball.
Yeah.
Leave the ball.
Smart man.
A good
Smart
good
man.
relationship is like a good tennis game.
Back and forth.
So I'm taking that, and that's why I don't, care too much. If you're not bringing no value, and I'm off, I may not have a lot to offer, but I have to offer, a good relationship wise. He says I'm a good relationship keeper, not a relationship getter, which is so far true.
I like that.
But so you just brought that up, so that made me think of that, and that's the thing. I don't know, maybe 2 years ago he told me, and I just keep that in the back of my head. And I'm bringing stuff, but you ain't bringing nothing.
Mm.
What's the point?
Right. I can do it myself.
I like that everyone agrees, even though I'm a female, I still agree. So,
Well, yeah, it's got to be the same. I mean, for you too.
It
You
should
got to be
be.
getting something out of it.
Right. Why am
go
I
back
working
and
all the
forth.
time, or why are you working all the time? Why are we both not
Right.
sharing the load?
And that's the other thing. It's a little bit crude, but people are starting to say now, with all these women are saying, like, I want X, Y, and Z. How are you setting yourself apart from basically not being a prostitute?
Right.
Because I can either have you where you're just taking, and I got to pay, and not getting what I'm getting, or I can go find a prostitute and pay for what I want and get what I want, and then she's gone. That's the contract, basically.
It's have her when you want her.
There's a content creator, Coach Rick Adams. He said dating in the way that it is now is almost a form. No, he said is a form of modern prostitution. But at least with that, you're at least getting what you want the way you want it.
Getting what you pay for.
Yep. And I'm like, that makes sense. To me, it makes sense. Like if I'm gonna go the route where I'm expending certain resources, I'd rather order up what I want and get it the way that I want it versus the possibility of this just being a waste of time and money.
It's like gambling versus purchasing.
Right.
You're taking a gamble. Maybe she'll like you or actually be genuine, or you can just pay for someone who's just gonna give you whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, let me throw another example out there, which I said in a previous live. You weren't here for it, but it's when Valerie and Kara were here. And once again, for the ladies, all four of you that are watching, think about something you like to buy that's kind of a high ticket price. If you might be into bags, or you might be into shoes. I think you said you're a shoe head. We'll use you, even though you're not a bad person. But say we'll use you. You like buying shoes. You're a
I'm buying
sneaker
shoes.
head.
Yes, sneakers all the time.
And what's your sneaker of choice? Like the brand?
Nike.
Nike. Okay. So you say you're going to a Nike store to go buy some new Nikes, right?
Yeah.
About how much do they cost?
Now about 150 to 200.
Okay.
Yeah, they're expensive now.
Yeah, they are expensive. So let's just say you go to the Nike store, you're about to go buy some new Jordans, and they're $150. You pick out the ones you want. You go to the register. You pay the money, and the person says, "All right, have a nice day." And you're like, "What about my shoes?" And you're like, "Well, I mean, I don't want to give them to you." And you're like, "Well, I paid for them. I expect to have the shoes I just paid for." This is what men go through when we take women on dates. I mean, we're not saying we expect to sleep with you, but we expect something for the exchange of money, energy, attention, and time. It's a Coach Greg Adams acronym. We expect, we're not doing it out of the goodness of our hearts. Sorry, I'm just being real with you. We didn't look for a relationship or relations, whatever the guy's looking for. But the thing is, we're not taking on charity cases just to take you out to your favorite restaurant or a restaurant you saw on TikTok, or so you can take your pictures and post it on your Instagram. Most guys, they're looking for something. I'm going to say they're looking for relationships. So keep that in the back of your mind. If you went to a store and you bought whatever you bought, but the clerk now said you're not going to get it because I just don't feel like giving it to you, you're going to say, "But I paid for it." And that's how guys feel. I paid for something. I want to get to know you. I want this to go somewhere. And you're just like, I wasn't really feeling it. You know,
It's funny because I heard on the radio one day this guy went on a date with a woman, paid for everything. When he talked to her next time, she was like, "Yeah, I'm not really feeling it. Thanks for taking me out." He sent her a Cash App request for half of the money for the date,
yeah.
and she called him back like, "Livid." I was like, "Why are you mad? You just wasted his time because you really weren't interested, and
Right.
he spent all his money.
Mhm.
Give him half his money back."
Right. I mean, they say women only want equality when it benefits them. When it doesn't benefit them, that's when it's an issue. And I think, me personally, if you go on a date, even if the guy says, "Hey, I'm gonna take you out and he's gonna pay," if you know you're not feeling him on that date, I think you should at least offer to say, like, "You know what, I'm gonna pay for my half of the meal."
Hmm.
And he can then decline or he can accept it.
Yeah.
But to sit there and be like, "Well, he asked me out, he's got to pay for this, I'm never gonna see him again," that's where I think it's a bit childish. And I think more women should be more grown about it. And they should, at the very least, sincerely offer. I'm not saying like you should like, please let me play, please let me pay. No, just like, "I like to pay for my meal."
Yeah.
And if he says no, that's okay, then let it be. But just let him pay and let him think that there's gonna be a second date, whatever it is, and then you finally talk to him, or you might even ghost him. That's petty. That's childish.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people need to grow up.
Now, I don't agree with sending a Cash App request. Like, have a conversation.
Yeah.
Don't just send a Cash App request.
I
But
get that. He should just let it go.
yeah, yeah. I think he was just being petty at that point. But still, I would have been like, let me send him half his money back because I wasn't feeling it the whole time, and I still wasted his time.
Right. I think, you know what? Should we call it?
Yes.
I think we're gonna call it for tonight. It's been a little bit about an hour and 10 minutes we gave you guys tonight. So I don't know about you guys. Had a lot of fun with this conversation. I'm hoping you guys at home are watching your cell phones. Hopefully you're not driving right now, but I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation as well. And make sure you guys tune in next week for the next episode, the next live episode of TDG. Hopefully we will start at 8 o'clock. We're still working towards, but we're still black. So
It is 4th of July weekend, by the way.
Oh yeah,
4th of
holiday
July weekend.
weekend.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll be back next week. Holiday weekend.
Sean and his shiny head.
He can let it go.
You guys competing there.
But yeah, I just want to shout out once again or do my little drops here. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button and share it as well. Drop us some comments. Let us know how you're doing. Let's know how you thought of the content. If you guys want to hear something, a question you want us to ask next time, let us know. We won't know unless you guys let us know. And also check out my dad's channel, Finances with Uncle Nev. If you guys got your finances in a twist, in a bind, and need some financial help, he's got 81 years of knowledge in his dome rolling around. He's pretty much done it all. Started from absolutely nothing. I think the house he grew up in was probably smaller than this room or about the size of this room, and he had 6 brothers and sisters. And to grow up and basically have own 2 of his own businesses, and do a multitude of other things, other financial things. You're gonna learn some stuff from him, and you're gonna help your financial situation out as well. So make sure you check out Finances with Uncle Nev. And on that note, I'm gonna pass it off to Clayton to my left.
Well, thanks for having me. This was something different. and had a good time.
Glad to have you here. Hope you come back. Hope we didn't scare you off too much.
No, actually, it was pretty enjoyable.
Rock on.
It's a form of therapy coming on the show. So
It
make
really
sure you
is.
guys, everyone who's apprehensive about coming onto the show, 'cause I've asked a lot of people, and they all give excuses or they just ghost me. It's very therapeutic, just letting it out. So I'm sorry.
It's Renee again. Single still. Haven't changed my mind. This hasn't changed my mind yet. But
And I'm King, the actual King Smith. You can also find me on the King and Me show on pretty much all platforms where me and my boo thing, Michelle Early, we talk about all things dating, relationships, very similar to here. But then we go a little bit into our, life as well, as we are a couple that met, older. And our whole tagline is to showcase that dating's not all trash, but we do highlight the good and the bad. So check us out on Monday, 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Standard Time Zone.
All right. Well, once again, thanks for joining, guys, and we will hopefully see you guys next weekend, but we'll see. It's up in the air.